So, welcome back to SMWX. Extremely excited to be joined by Slikour Metane, who is a trailblazer in multiple fields, from hip-hop to digital innovation, technology, and entrepreneurship. All-round inspiration to many.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for joining us, bro.
Apparently. Thank you.
So we first met in the back of a car when I was trying to shop you a demo with Entity.
Yeah, damn, those days. Those are the days.
Those were the days.
Yo,
bro.
and look at you now.
Well, I mean, look at this. Look at this.
You know.
Yeah, man.
I rapped hard.
Bro, I think what's really interesting about the work that you've done in that period, from the car to where we are now, is...
Just for context, that was in 2000 and...
Wow.
2000 and...
like 4 or something.
2004.
Yeah.
When were you in matric?
Yeah, I matriculated 06.
So it must have been 2004.
Yeah.
Yeah. For context, that's 204. So.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And in Entity, we used to talk about that conversation for like weeks afterwards. We were like, we were in Slikker's car, like he came to the school, and we were like... But you've excelled in the realm of entrepreneurship, built this from the ground up, but you've also always had political opinions to share, not necessarily party political opinions, but you've never been shy. I go back to the days of Blacks or Fools.
Yeah.
Do you still share some of those sentiments from that classic? You rapped about BEE. You said that celebrities want to be politicians want to be celebrities. Looking back on that from 2012, I think, like, have your views remained roughly the same, or have you changed?
Yeah. I mean, how I deliver my views has changed. Now they get stuck in my head a lot, But even before that, I mean, I was already talking about like how I'm not black enough for BE, that was in my first album, Ventilation Mixtape Volume 1. So yeah, I still have views, I just don't I just realized that you cannot lead people who don't want to be led. When you lead people who don't want to be led, you become the fool, So rather choose the battle, right? Our people have been disadvantaged with the fact that they haven't been, every leadership trains followers. So leadership has trained our people to not research. It's trained our people to rather take an opinion and not a fact, So not only it's not my people that are a problem, it's the training, the mediums that have trained them are larger than mine, and have been existing for longer than me, for over 100 years. Even if black people are driving the ship, like, it's just the way you train people how to think, Leaders train people how to think, media trains people how to think, marketing trains people how to think, and you become the runt if you don't get into that school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's my life. My whole life has been I've been ostracized simply because I keep failing in that school. Yeah.
And what role do you think that culture, and especially the hip hop game, the hip hop world, plays in the political space? Because I think a lot of people see them as two separate worlds. But I often think like some of the stuff that you do breaks as much political ground as what a political party might be saying. How do you see those two worlds coming together in our country and mixing?
People always ask me, and probably maybe I ask myself. It's like, they go, it's the OG, represents the culture. Still, they say like he's the most plugged in OG. But, the thing is that young people are not politically inclined. They still they know what's right or wrong. They're still innocent enough to know what's right or wrong. The kids that are making music, the younger kids who are coming in, they know what's right or wrong. They're not politically inclined. They're about to get disappointed by the politics, and not just politics just by meaning politics, but the politics of the world.
Sure.
You know, in the working world, in the music world, in different industries, and they're still gonna be disappointed. So you try stay close to the people that still see right for right and wrong for wrong, and you try be a more responsible elder by reciprocating that righteousness, because your peers or my peers, either if they're alive, either are short selling themselves to be in the school, to be in this mainstream school, whether it's politics, industry, culture. So the kids, they still trying to find their place. Some of them are going to end up in the school, and they're going to give up and end up in the school. But some of them are literally going to be. So we try to catch the righteous energy, because we also become what we surround ourselves with. So for me, it's if you have to talk about what I'm doing in culture, clear it's just me trying to be around right energy, so I could also know what's right or wrong. You know what I mean? It's innocence. You know what I mean? Innocence is what changes the world. You know, innocence is what changes the world. It's the urge to keep things innocent and keep them clean. That's what changes the world, and do things for the right reason. You know, all those things really change the world, in my opinion. But when there's money involved, when there's positions involved, you know, things start getting contaminated. So this culture is it's one thing. What politics is doing is what I'm doing when I'm on a mic. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Politics is about who puts on the best show. You know,
using words.
You know, rappers go, I got a Jeep, I got a girl, I got a this, in a 2-pin, whatever. They stunting about that they don't have. They trying to sell you their aspiration, hopefully that when I get it, when I get the money, I'll get there, right? Politics say, we're going to change this, we're going to fix this, we're going to fix, for 20 years, 100 years, they say this, you know. It's all game.
You know, it's so
it's
funny.
game. Politics is game with no beats. You know what I mean?
At least rappers beats.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Like it's so funny, because we've been on the ground at the IEC Results Center at the inauguration. It's so funny how similar that is to like going to the summers or just being around the rap game and wow, man, just like even I don't know who are the better politicians, like the very senior politicians or the really successful rappers, because both of them, whenever you meet them, they'll make you feel like you are the only person in the room. You know, like they really missed you, and you're like, oh my word, that person cares about me. And I've seen it with the rappers I've met and the politicians I've met.
It's cool. It's a central thing, you know. I mean, that's why when people wrap things up to make it look fancy, but life is basic. You know, you're gonna live and you're gonna die. You're gonna be born, live, and die. You know, life is clean like that. If life is clean like that, if there's a beginning and there's an ending, in between, you also need to know where's the beginning and where's the ending. When is it real? When is it not real? You know, it's just what it is. So there's always similar behavior for different practices, but it builds different audiences. So if I was gonna talk against the ANC, the EFF, the DA, I'm a person speaking against them, speaking against other people who speak for it. Now you're going up against them. So that's why, you know, when I started seeing that, like, my people don't want to be led. My people want to be led by the promise of politics, not by the reality of their lives, not by the obstacles and the things that we got to fix in our lives. So the reality, like music, like rap music, even when you broke, you know, when kids going, yo man, when he talks about that, it just takes me there, it makes me feel I can get there. Politics is the same. Because all it needs then, all you need then with politics is sort of like music. You can make a great song. You can have all the right rules for as or what they call it, like the right policies as a politician, as a political party, right? But if you don't have the charisma to kind of sell them, you ain't gonna be nothing. You can be the dopest rapper with the dopest songs. If you don't have the charisma, you ain't gonna get that love.
And the infrastructure behind you as well. Like that's one thing I've been realizing about the two different things. It's like the parties with the most money are the ones that are able to just plaster the streets and they're gonna do well.
Like, you know, right? I mean, let me bring up your homie, you know, whether it's your ex-rapper homie. I mean, when he signed, everybody goes, yeah, but AKA's always played because he had a system, a machine that supported him on radio. You know what I mean? Right? The radio. If you look at the charts, the Rams on radio. Now remember, the Rams are owned by the same institution. So if you look at the Rams on radio, the Rams on radio have a lot of artists that are signed. It's the guys with the infrastructure. Now let's go back and let's move South Africa, because South Africa is literally like from a music industry perspective, is literally like minute. You know, let's go global. You know, when Beyonce drops, the work that's going to be done. You know, the posters, the billboards, you know. Let's even move from music, you know. Let's go to Avengers. When Avengers drops, the work that's going to be done. When Game of Thrones. So essentially, all these hubs are like HBO, you know, like Fox, you know, like Universal globally, or all these guys are literally monetary hubs that literally are able to kind of go, so how do we strategically place the marketing? Which is the same as politics. It's just politics literally does the same. So what makes us as creatives not believe that my journey is let's build an industry that literally is can have enough money, make enough money. My fight was to sell rap. Like now my fight is sitting with brands and going, this is the importance of the culture. This is the story that the culture, it's the culture that comes first. Not analog, not digital, not above the line, not below the line. Before there was even a marketing conversation, there was a culture. Culture never goes anywhere.
And it feels like to me, a lot of this infrastructure is set up even in SA to promote the international artists above our artists first, and then we get the crumbs, you know, that come with that, and it's about reshaping that and putting our artists up front first.
So politics plays the same game. You see, politics also. They got bigger entourages than rappers, right? They got entourages in every region, right? They got entourages. So you know, there's one main rapper who's the leader of the party. You know, he's the guy. You know, he's 50 Cent, and then you got Young Buck. And you got Young Buck, who's the minister of this, you know. You got Yayo, who's the minister of that.
And some of you are just Lloyd Banks.
Some of you are Lloyd Banks. And then you got the fans, you know, buy your merchandise, you know, and come through dressed in your merchandise, you know what I mean? And if you say anything wrong about 50 cents or G Unit, it's over with you, you know what I mean? So it's a cult following, which I'm saying, let me be able to define what true leadership is versus cult. You know, and as much as if I sat with you today and you promised me something and you never delivered it, a promise broken to one is as bad as a promise broken to 10 million. That's how bad it is. If you won't break a promise to me, you're gonna break it to another 10 million people, or the whole country. So all of a sudden we start talking about trust issues. You know, if you're gonna hide information from me, like whether we're talking about land or whether we're talking about whatever, if you're not gonna hide the back end, if you're gonna hide the fact that yes, there is a piece of land, or hide information like, you know, there actually is a black land ownership process somewhere in Sun City with Basotho, where, like, you know, they own the land, you know, and everyone else in the world, the foreign people, literally monetize the land and they pay you royalty. So if you are not gonna, if we're gonna position getting land back as an innovative concept, and we're not going to refer to people who are already doing it right and have been doing it, and the community is also benefiting to a certain extent. If we don't have references and we keep on always being like we're the first ones, then I start going, but why didn't you show me that, oh, this is what land, like getting land back looks like, you know what I mean? Unless you want it on different terms, which, like, then when you talk about different terms, we go, yo, a majority of black people are not educated. A majority of black people are not around environments that allow them to technically kind of like move because communities don't have those environments.
Sure.
But that doesn't mean that those majority of black people cannot be put like upskilled, you know. But then while you upskill, you can't also get like the commercial output that you want at the same time.
Sure.
So it's either your economy is going to pause while you're upskilling and getting people for another 20 or 30 years, right? Or alternatively, you're going to literally like take your people, meaning the people you need to upskill, and you're going to make them go study somewhere in the world so they can come back and actually like tighten the policies, you know what I mean? So for me, those are the real conversations that I had. Everything else is like you can win the lotto, like win $1 million. And unfortunately, South African people have been seduced with the daydreaming headspace. A lot of the majority, but let me not even say that. Let me take that back. Let me just say the lack of knowledge, or the minimum, the lack of knowledge has actually makes the accessing of things to make us move forward seem like they're not a high mountain to climb.
Right.
They're not a generational thing to climb.
We think it's going to come like super fast, or someone else has it and we don't have it.
I say that Nike is literally not even more than 100 years old. You know what I mean? I mean, all these businesses start from zero. But are we ready to see ourselves for who we are? Because once black South Africans are ready to see themselves for who they are, they'll go, we're struggling. But when you see yourself from zero, then you go, how do I get to one? How do I get to two? And then how do I make the next generation get to three? But if you are constantly comparing yourself to the West, constantly comparing yourself to people who've taken things on whatever, we're not getting anywhere. I use the you gotta literally have this energy. There's this grudge energy. You know, this energy of, Sizwe, I'm not going to do this for you because you did this, or we're not going to go, or we're going to do, you know, when you do something good, but it's grudge energy. The political game is balanced on grudge energy. Those guys did that, so we need to do this.
Sure.
Grudge energy has never done anything for anyone. So grudge energy, they did this, so we're going to do that. There's never, even a policy, that was the policy, so this is going to be. But where's common sense? Where's let's start from zero. This is where we are.
So in terms of innovation and thinking for future generations, do you feel like this kind of stuff that you've been doing on a huge scale, the stuff that we're starting here, do you think that the people in power like get this? Do you think that they, because it feels to me like there are these incentives for young black businesses, but they're all based around like a 20th century model where like you must go and like make a factory somewhere, whereas you're producing, you know, you're producing stuff that may not be as tangible, but it just feels to me like the funding environment for black business and the support environment isn't speaking to what people actually want to do and put into the world.
So let me ask you a question. The level of output that we have in content, just from Slikour Live, and let me just bring you also in. It's the two of us.
Sure.
Without us having license from any global content, just local content alone, our level of output of content is more than what Mnet was doing as a channel on its own.
Absolutely.
On its own.
Yeah.
When it's just Mnet.
Yeah.
Someone saw the value of putting money into that. Right? I don't care what they say. They're going to make you hate Afrikaner people, so they don't make you see where they were actually progressive for themselves. Because black people have got a responsibility to show where they progressive for themselves and how they progressive for themselves.
Sure.
I am not interested in politics of the West and politics of the government that's been inherited by agendas that need to talk about, that need to feed global things. I want global to come and go, this is how we're going to deal with South Africa, because this is what the leadership said.
Yeah.
This is how we're going to deal with South African youth, because the leadership understands where the gaps are, you know. And because these are the gaps, this is how we engage with global.
Yeah.
Global shouldn't engage with us and go, because we're investing X amount. Because at the end of the day, you know, I mean, we need to get to a point where we are able to go, this is how we take care of our people. And if we can't get to that point, we got to understand what are the gaps in our people. Yes, you know, like in Limpopo, they got their own things. KwaZulu-Natal, they got their own things. You know, it was, we all got things. But like, that's why they got these cliques, right? It's like, if I got a recording label and I've signed, and I've got the rap artist, if I'm Jimmy Iovine, Jimmy Iovine who owns Interscope, Jimmy Iovine signs, or used to own Interscope, covers his rap footprint by, and I'm just trying to show you like strategic thinking in music which can be applied anywhere else.
Yeah.
Jimmy Iovine wants a business. He wants to run the biggest label.
Yeah.
You want to run the biggest country, or you think South Africa should be the big, or South Africa's South Africa. If you want to be the head of South Africa, you literally need to think like the guy who wants to run the biggest label that has the biggest label. I got Dr. Dre and I got Aftermath, who signed Eminem, who brings 50 cents. I got will.i.am, who'll do the mainstream stuff. I got Lady Gaga, who'll do the pop stuff.
Yeah.
I got that guy. Literally, I'm catering from everybody so everyone can get fed.
Sure.
It's literally like a strategist understanding people are different.
And there's stuff out there that could build that bigger infrastructure that people don't seem to be cottoning on to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what we're doing as a country, we busy trying to get best case studies in the world. Instead of going, what's happening on the ground?
Yeah.
Now, going back to my example about Mnet, I was just trying to say that like someone was smart enough.
Yeah.
The thing about Afrikaans people is that the only thing that Afrikaans people did wrong was just like mess black people up, you know, and make us feel, and actually make apartheid work even when they're gone. Okay, let me make it sound like it's a small thing. It's actually a big thing. Wait, it's a big thing. Let's get that right.
This thing's still running.
This thing, I mean, Afrikaans people are so smart. They literally like started something that literally like even when they're gone. You know, when you start a business, they say, so who's going to run the business when you die? And you're like, hey, shit, I haven't upskilled anybody.
Yeah.
Afrikaans people were so smart with the processes that they literally said, even if Steve Hoffman is driving over his DSTV, his Explorer, but the mind, what they made us feel is still working. We are still perpetuating the behavior of people who need affirmation from someone that's lighter than them. We still are, you know, we're still perpetuating that. So with that being said, what I was just trying to say is that shouldn't someone be, I said it to you, I called you about what you're doing. I said, and before you even wrote it, I said, this is the new news. Yeah. This is the new news. You know, I'm glad it's not me doing it, because I'm sometimes in the mix of things and I can't see what I'm doing, but I could look from the outside and say, this is the new news. And I said, if you're doing the new news, what am I doing then? I said, damn. Hey. And I'm serious, this is my thoughts, because I don't even know what I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, okay. It's like, these are the platforms thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But shouldn't someone from somewhere, from some fund go, I know, right? This is the new comms. Yeah. How are we investing in this new comms?
A whole different infrastructure.
Instead of me going to the various brands and the businesses and trying to go, I need this, because my business is held by that. Yeah. And then you go, okay, so they're also employing people, because this is the new news. Yeah. Because now people go, they know jobs. That newspaper place closed. That newspaper. Yeah. Yes, it's going to close. But those people need to be shifted because it was the company that was actually old.
And you've done it from the ground up, man. Like,
but I just want to say, the company gets old, consumption never stops. You know,
exactly.
So
Absolutely.
you gotta evolve the means of means of
And
consumption.
you can't force people to go to the old means of consumption when there's a whole new thing happening on this side, right?
So people are losing jobs not because there's no more work. People are losing jobs because we are not in a in a country that encourages transformation.
Yeah.
In a country that sees this is where we're going. They're waiting for something in the world to go. You know what Sizwe was doing? There's a news. You know what Slikour Metane did? There's a company called Vice that does this. It's like they're waiting for some global affirmation.
Yeah.
But that's Afrikaner. That's what Afrikaner is planted in leadership. No matter how much money leadership has, no matter how much connects, this Afrikaners still hold them like this in their headspace because they cannot see the future through the kids.
Bro, just to change tack a little as we end off. What in the hip hop game right now are you feeling, and what do you think our subscribers need to watch out for from someone who keeps his ear to the ground and has done for many a year?
Sure. I mean, I think the hip hop really varies, you know. But I do feel that like kids that are speaking with the heart. One of the kids that I would mention is Big Hash, you know.
Okay.
You know, I think that he's really from what Nasty C started, you know, honesty, the way he talks, also just off the mic, charisma, you know, great. And there's another kid from Mtimbisa, who Touchline.
Right.
So I'm literally trying to give you a little flavors for everybody. I'm segmenting the flavors, right?
Sure.
Touchline, like if you still, so I'd say Nasty. It's like J. Cole kind of rap, you know.
Right.
That international rappers thing. That's what you get from Big Hash. You go to Touchline, you'll probably get like, you know, the Pro Kid is a sick guys type rap, punchlines, metaphors. You know, you got Champagne 69. You know, you're gonna get that. You don't need to listen to what they're saying type raps, you know, you just like, it's just the vibe, you know.
Yeah.
Don't listen to all the words, just listen to the vibe, you know what I mean? And I mean, I guess, you know, there's a bunch of them, you know. I'm just trying to see what it is. You know, you got, for the singers, you got a kid like Cly out there, you know. I'm just glad there's a lot of rappers, kids like Pretty Ugly, you know, that are really doing the thing. But there's a bunch of it, you know, because there's so much. I'm just giving you like highlights, you know. But I think that's what it is. That's what people can check out.
Who do you think is the one person who's hitting the political notes right, like actually speaking for the way young people feel about what's going wrong in the country? Apart from this kid, Sizwe Mpofu-Walsh, like there's
yeah, it's hard to find.
Yeah, it is, man.
You know what it is though. There's because you know they struggle over struggle. You know, they almost starts becoming like a, what do they call that hierarchy thing? The Maslow's.
Yeah.
They starts becoming almost like sort of a Maslow's hierarchy of struggle.
Sure.
Before I'm gonna go talk about all that political shit, I'm going through my struggle.
Yeah, sure.
And a lot of the kids are literally like, I'm going through my struggle.
Yeah.
We are actually in a time in our generation where the kids, it's what happened with Squatter Camp. We in a generation, our generation was a time where the kids were literally trying to rid the old. The kids literally had less faith in old things, old people, old thinking.
Baba president.
Yeah. The kids are there now. The kids literally, and remember now it's worse for them because it's even institutions on television. They don't even almost subscribe to those things. Yeah. Those things are there because they're there, right? They don't subscribe to those things. They don't subscribe to, and all those things, if you think that you're going to blow because of radio, you're going to be, they don't subscribe to that. A lot of that is old thinking, like newspapers, like it's old thinking, you know? So we, once again, are at a point in history or in life where something new is going to be happening. Something new is going to be breaking. the faces of success are going to change. The journey you need to take to be a success is gonna be different, and it won't be like it always was. The people you need to speak to get to that success are going to be new, you know, and what money is going to be, a lot of money is going to be seen as a different thing. It could be a lot more money, or it could be just self happiness, you know. We going through a new process, man. Well, at least in South Africa, and the kids are leading it. So the kids are pushing out all the old, and while the old people don't have power to fight it back, all we're gonna see is what they come with. So there's a change happening, and that's why, you know, the voting wasn't like the voting was the way it was, because not to say that kids like don't care about the struggle, but they just don't subscribe to the people. They don't subscribe to the approach.
Sure.
They don't subscribe to the principles. They know old people are lying. They know that they're lying, and they know it's an act, you know. So unless it's just for, I know you can take me that to point A to B, or you can give me 1,000 rand.
Yeah.
Unless it's motive driven, the kids aren't subscribing to anything that the old world is bringing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the old world is the old world literally like discards itself through time, and there's gonna be, like I'm saying, if the faces of culture was Arthur, was Mdu, was Tebe.
Sure.
What Squatter Camp was doing, they were literally like, because we weren't really they were still the faces. What Squatter Camp was doing, they were literally like just shaking the ground, so the faces of culture could be AKA, could be Casper, could be Tear Gas, could be whoever. So we were still in the mix of, we were where the kids are today. Yeah. So the faces and success also was a different thing for them. Now success is a different thing for the artists also of today.
Sure.
So what I'm saying is that we're going through something new, and we don't know where the world is going, but the kids are going to be in control of it. Once again, it's that time where old people think they're in power, and old people, yes, they're in power and resource and money, but like the decision of where the universe is going to be going now, it's in the hands of the kids. It's back to the kids now. And these kids get old until they also start becoming dishonorable, until they start becoming like like not truthful and untrustworthy, and then the universe literally like discards them and brings in. It happens all the time. The world keeps cleaning itself, and the only way the world can actually stay alive is through the hope of truth. So there always has to be a generation. Once the world is getting to where it is today, where all the old people can't be trusted, where it's hard. You know, it's hard to get in a relationship, because you can't trust the woman, you can't trust the man. Everybody is just dirty to some certain extent. It's just how it is. The world cleans it up, and then there's a new generation that's optimistic until they get attached to the things they get attached to, and they start loving those things. Then they want to protect them, and they want to protect them even if it's immoral, and then the world cleans it out. And we are at a place where the world is cleaning up now, again. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to be new success, what's going to be new making money, what's going to be like, you go, oh, you look at where we are, this company. What's going to be the new success of a guy like me in the next, not me, but a guy who literally walked this journey? What are they going to be owning in the next 10, 15 years? This is where we're going through now. The world is going to shake itself up, and it's either old people play ball so they can be forgiven with mercy, or get some type of mercy, or they're going to be forgotten and no one's going to care.
Well, I have no doubt that you'll be at the forefront of that, man. You've been at the forefront of many transformations so far in the culture. And
they're going to get rid of me if I'm also not like truthful, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And truth means everything needs to come from here.
Sure.
Everything needs to come from here. Politics need to come from here. I know it's like unrealistic, but politics deal with people, and people always come from here. People feel the pain from here. And if the people that are reciprocating the help, they come from here and not from here. Because people come from here. There's too many things that are coming from here. Too much intellect and not enough heart.
And you can spot it immediately
exactly.
if it doesn't come from the right place.
Exactly. Too much intellect, too much preempted. I know things preempted. This is where too much of this here.
It's like the big rappers, man. They know what to say all the time, but
it's not enough here.
Yeah.
It's not enough here. And just as a side note, I had to decide whether I will be in the mainstream or I'll just chase my dream. And that's why we talk about medium even in war history. I'm a history student. In war, you know, you take the medium of communication first when you take over any colony or colonizing it. So I said, what am I going to do? Am I going to rap?
Definitely, man.
Am I going to try drop a single? Am I going to own mediums? And I'm going to be a network? Am I communicate information? This is all this is the bigger thing. And then, you know, we bring in the commercial side of it. But ownership of mediums and ownership of communications and creating content, that's the heart of the fourth industrial revolution.
Bro, we're going to have another one, hey?
Yeah.
I think we're going to have it on the balcony, huh?
You ran out of tape.
No, bro, but thanks for dropping so much wisdom. It's a great honor to be with you as someone who's pioneered, you know, being the voice of the new wave of communication. And we learn a lot from what you're doing, and it's inspired a lot of what we've done. So thanks for spreading the fire. Thanks for coming on SMWX. And I hope this is just the first of many conversations. Yeah,
I think I appreciate it. I just want to throw this to black people. Start valuing your culture, because most of the times it's all we have. Once you can value that, you can understand how we need to commercialize it. Once we create a need for it, we can understand how we can start importing it and exporting it. And it all boils down to you. That's all. That's all. Everything else is for sale. Like the shit you want to buy and the cars you want to have. That's it. Cool.
Spread the fire.
Spread the fire, but don't get burned, you know?
SMWX. No young people are around the decision-making table. Let some new voices come to the fore. Follow us on WhatsApp and catch us live Tuesdays and Thursdays. Out with the old, in with the new. SMWX.